Mm. Ah, well, I am so excited for you to meet my dear friend Jean-Guy. My dear friend Jean-Guy. Jean-Guy, it is such, um, I have such love and appreciation for you and who you are in the world and the scope of what you're doing in the world to elevate others. I mean, I have such deep reverence and, and respect. And so I want to invite your voice in early on into the conversation and just, is there anything you want to share right at the outset of this conversation?
My friend Danny, I feel touched. I feel honored to be with you now. I just love the connection we have, the painting you have, the house that you, the home that you have, and I cannot just fathom that just a year ago, I was with you and we were having dinner with Sue, with Dale. We were walking, breathing the air, and now we're on Zoom, but I feel the very same connection, and it feels like although there's a screen, there's no distance, there's no space, especially at this time that you're going through.
Let's give like a little bit of setting to this. You live in Belgium, right?
Yes.
You live in Belgium. Here I am in San Diego. We're having this conversation through Zoom, across time zones. And, I think there's John makes a joke. I think your time zone, you're in July, right? So,
I wish.
So please continue.
Meeting you was one of the finest moments I can remember. It was at the Global Wellness Summit. It was in Aspen, out of all places where people meet, where heads of states meet, where executive committees of big brands meet to have that elevation, not just physically, but elevation of mind to come together. Susie Ellis and her team with the Global Wellness Institute facilitated that, and you were one of the keynote speakers. And I remember that as you were speaking, there is always so much energy and enthusiasm in you, and you were taken by the message you wanted to share and to propel. You were turning into an engine, you were turning into a rocket. There was so much energy fueled into you, and that you were channeling in the room. And at a moment, we connected, our eyes connected, and and then you started slowing down the pace of what you wanted to say. Then there was this moment when, because there were so many pairs of eyes looking at you and taking in everything you were saying, and that was a moment we connected. And from that, I felt compelled to be able to share and to serve, with your message, with what you convey, in how you inspire and empower others, to invite you to come and speak in London at the World Spa and Wellness Convention, and then to come again to speak at the World Spa and Wellness Convention in Dubai, because you touched lives. You spoke of how the brain works, how to make it work better. You spoke about conscious capitalism and how we can embody that in our lives and we can be conscious leaders. And you were talking about the brain. And a week ago, I just couldn't fathom what was happening with your brain.
Okay, so thank you for that. I receive, it has been the deepest honor in my life to be connected to you, Jean-Guy. And I just want to now turn, if it's okay, if I can now shine the light on you. Okay, so it's important for people to know the scale of influence that you have in the world already. So, you've mentioned some really kind of, you're also on the global scale. You part of the magic that makes these global conferences. You actually, when you're talking about, can you share a little bit about those conventions, just the scale of those conventions that you assembled, because you're actually designing the programs for those, and then I actually want to kind of pivot from there, and I want to talk about your own initiative. So I'm going to prepare people for the scale of what you're doing on your own initiative, but just share how big is that? what would you say the scale of influence is about and you have to apologize. I just had a week of radiation therapy, so
Of course, of course.
So there's the name of the conference again is
The World Spa and Wellness Convention, and I've been the executive producer for the past 6-7 years now in London, in Dubai. I'm facilitating for the professional beauty group that is producing magazines, events in the UK, South Africa. I know you're very connected with South Africa, India, and the GCC, and I'm facilitating conferences for them.
And I was actually present at, the events in Dubai.
Yes.
But then I was also in London.
Yes.
So just to give a sense of scale, because I know that I've never seen the scale of anything like this. Because there's a conference center called Excel.
Yes.
And literally, I've never been into a room. It literally must have been a mile long of vendors. I mean, it's literally a room a mile long. How many people would you say attended that event? Just to,
it's a 2-day event in London. It's one of the key moments for the beauty industry to come and convene in one place with over 400 exhibitors. And there's between different years, I think they grew from 32,000 people to 36,000 people walking the floor within 2 days. And among this place, we have a conference of group spa directors, GMs, owners in the hospitality realm, spa and wellness, and we bring those people, mainly people from Europe, but also we have speakers from America, and we were lucky to have you as one of the keynotes.
So fair to say that you have a fair amount of influence at scale, be able to actually shape the curriculum that creates transformational experiences for the leaders of the industry, because obviously we can't have 32,000 people roaming the floors coming to an event. But imagine if you actually had the leaders, the digital leaders.
Yes.
Imagine, and we had like a bubble. There was a certain kind of bubble within that where we had the leaders of all of these, wellness businesses in the same room where we could actually convene and actually create, a transformational vision that has impact on evolving the future of wellness. So enough said. Would you be willing to share with us what most inspires you in terms of what you want to personally, because you've got a personal, you're the founder of something called World Wellness Weekend. I mean, that's, to me, that's extraordinary. So you're actually can you share your vision for World Wellness Weekend? And describe where you are in the scale of that right now and your aspirations of where you want to go. Because I want everybody to understand the extraordinary power of what you're looking to. So again, what I'm looking to do is I'm looking to shine a light on all people, individuals and organizations that are doing the work of healing, growth, and facilitating flourishing wellness in the world. And I think you agree, it's fair to say that Jean-Guy and his organization is one of the blessings of the work being done in the world to create that possibility for change.
Thank you, Daniel. I believe we are connected, you and the people also following you in a life of service. What nobler purpose to help others or to encourage others to achieve the best version of themselves, and through that process of transformation to touch the lives of many others also. So I've been extremely inspired by the Global Wellness Institute, the initiatives that I was part on, and for a few years, the Global Mentorship Program was one that I ran for 4 years. And one thing leading to another, I realized.
But I want to actually just before you go too far, I just want to actually kind of point out that you were also, an inspiring part of, in fairness, helping launch Global Wellness Day. And I'm going to be talking in a future session, Belgen. I'm going to be, we have a future conversation because people need to know the extraordinary work you do in the world, in supporting Global Wellness Day to actually create massive influence in the world. And I would say that your initiatives with Jean-Guy is complementary and synergistic.
Absolutely.
So that's a placeholder for a discussion that I'm going to be having with you as well.
Absolutely.
I just need to pause over here because I've got one other thing that I want to say. Belgen, I love you. I just want you to kind of feel that. I hope you're watching this right now. I love you. And I'm so excited to connect with you, to share our story together as well. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. So the Global Wellness Institute created many things, getting people together, joining together, shaping the future. And those people listen, they speak with each other, conversations turned into projects, into initiatives. The Global Mentorship Program was one. When the Global Wellness Day is another one that I was really happy to serve also for over 3 years. Helping launch it Belgian launched it, but to help her grow with ambassadors.
Let me just mention, if people want to, in the intervening time, look up, if you want to search, Belgen Aksoy. She's based in
Turkey.
And just look up Belgen Aksoy Global Wellness Day.
Absolutely.
You'll find this.
Absolutely. And one thing leading to another. In 2017, I felt compelled to launch an idea of a weekend of wellness that could be an open day for venues to showcase the talent of their team. For the past 19 years, I've been a consultant, an advisor, an educator, really specialized in guest experience and working for cosmetic brands, working for hotel groups. And every time that someone was asking to create something new for
just pause there because I think sometimes we gloss over these things. So can you actually mention who you've served, some of your biggest clients that you've served in that consulting? Because when you hear consulting, there's a whole range of what that means. So who are some of the biggest brands that you've served in helping them create flourishing wellness in the world?
Guerlain, Lancôme, Shiseido, La Mer, Solwasu in Korea, Ahava in Israel. I've been lucky to work with teams of Four Seasons, some properties of Accor, Radisson. So 19 years full of traveling, not so much now because of COVID, but every time it's about the team. Yes, it's about the experience, but it's about people experiencing this. And it's not just nice words in a brochure. It's not just verbiage. It's an experience that is going to be transformational for people coming, and especially for the people giving. And I always focus on the teams first to really engage them. So with this in mind, I really wanted to launch an event that would start in France and Belgium, because I'm French living in Belgium. And very rapidly, this idea of a weekend of wellness on the third weekend of September, just before the equinox, because I believe there's an importance in times with the solstice and the equinox. And equinox is the time when daytime, nighttime is about the same. So it was a beautiful symbol of work-life balance or work-life harmony. From 2 countries in 2017, we grew to 88 the following year, 98 on year 3. And this year, in the context of COVID-19, when so many events were canceled or postponed, we held steadfast. We wanted to make sure that hope and enthusiasm would be contagious. We would make sure that with the 60 ambassadors that we have, we would still serve as a source of inspiration and empowerment for the professionals in spas, in hotels, resorts, yoga, shalas, fitness clubs, so that together from sunrise in Hawaii or Fiji, the sunrise in Fiji to sunset in Hawaii, we would connect together, and we would, yes, be physically distanced, but we would be united and connected by wellness. So with this, from 98 countries last year, we grew into 109 countries this year. It means that there was at least one fun-free wellness activity for people to enjoy in 543 cities.
I want you people to understand the scale of this, because when you say we've grown from, up to 98, you're not talking about 98 people. Is that right? When you're saying 98, you're talking about countries, right?
That's right. From 2 countries to 88 year 2, 98 year 3, 109 this year.
Okay, so it's 109 countries. We're not talking about people, it's countries.
With 1,123 venues participating this year.
Okay.
Last year, because we were in full bloom, you mentioned flourishing. Last year, we had over 2,000 venues participating in 98 countries. And we had over 450 mentions in the press, touching an audience of 224 million people.
Okay, right. So scale. So when you're talking about who are people in the world that have sufficient scale to actually create meaningful transformational change. And I understand that you had government representation from France. Can you share about how you integrated not only essentially your network of extraordinary leaders in the spa and wellness industry, but how you actually enrolled government into these initiatives?
You're absolutely right, because from the idea that it was to organize an open day with professionals so that guests could come, it's growing to so much more. We have 30 plus mayors supporting this event in their city to care and cater for their residents, to attract more people coming on that weekend. We had 6 governors in America last year signing a proclamation. This year, a 7th governor joined in, the governor of Quintana Roo, Riviera Maya between Cancun and Tulum.
These are governors, just so, because when we talk about governors in, I was trying to kind of get my head around, America, but what you're talking about is these are mayors. Are these the mayors within France or Belgium?
Mayors in France, mayors in Belgium, mayors in America, 6 governors in America last year. Out of memory, Connecticut, Iowa, Louisiana, Mississippi, Texas, and Arizona signed a proclamation this year. Quintana Roo, one of the provinces in Mexico. We had 3 secretaries of state signing also a letter of support. The first one was the Minister of Tourism in Cyprus last year. This year it was the Minister of Tourism in France and the Minister of Sports in France. So we're taking this to a whole new level. And I'm so grateful that you mentioned World Wellness Weekend in this conversation. I thought it was going to be about you and our connection, but now you mentioned World Wellness Weekend.
What I want people to understand is, my story alone isn't enough to actually drive, sufficient interest, that story. But when I have the opportunity, because I'm so blessed to have so many people, so many dear friends that are doing extraordinary work in the world, of which I didn't even know half of the story. You're so modest. I mean, we're talking about governors, 6 governors, and you would think that would be a little anecdote at the dinner table. You might want to drop something. I had no idea. So what you're sharing is even larger in scale than I ever imagined. And I'm so happy for everybody to know what you're doing in the world. So that when I do this, this is why, I'm very intent on, making this channel viral. I'm very intent on making this channel viral because the more viral influence we have with this Living Well from Within channel, the more opportunity I have is to shine a bright light on influencers like Jean-Guy, right? So to support Jean-Guy, what I'm going to ask is that if you haven't subscribed, click on the link below and click the red subscribe button, and then send this out into your network to actually share with others with an encouragement to subscribe to. So
Absolutely. And you know, one of the I've followed. I haven't seen all of the videos on your channel yet, but I've seen a few. And one that is really striking is that the fact that you're gathering amazing people with amazing commitment. And if we look at the Whole Health Institute, that is gathering in this constellation, in this coalition that you are creating, it is remarkable because it is all about not just touching the life of one person or two, but many. And I like that idea of one, two, many.
yeah.
And we have this idea with the World Wellness Weekend that we have 5 pillars that we are encouraging people to explore in their life, 5 pillars of wellness. The first one is sleep and creativity. How can you give your brain rest? How can you reconnect? And how can you grow into a creative mindset? You know that.
Well,
You know that.
I'll need you to send me some curriculum on that because I'm not sleeping very much right now.
Oh, the second one is nutrition and immunity. The third one is movement and vitality. Not just movement and fitness and activity, but the enthusiasm that you have in your life and the entrepreneurship you can have to make projects again in your life. The fourth one is mindfulness and serenity. And the fifth one, that's this little piggy over there, is sense of purpose and solidarity. And you know what? In times of COVID-19, putting the planet to a halt, billions of people in lockdown or restricted in their movements, millions of people right now in a situation where they don't know if they will have a job or they're already. So with this COVID-19 CO, everyone bringing to everyone, you know, locking in your home, afraid of the contagious. If I look at the first 2 letters, CO, it's about meaningful conversations. It's about collaboration. It's about co-elaboration. It's about communities. It's about creating this whole thing where we co-create the new world we can be in. And this is what World Wellness Weekend is about. You know, just to finish on this and not to bore you with details, but there's something that touched the lives of many people. I think information is one thing. And to know that there are statistics and there are non-communicable diseases and that people die prematurely because all of that, and brings us back to our mortality. If we talk about the joy, the endorphins, the serotonin, the oxytocin that we can feel, World Wellness Weekend with all of those W's, which is a mouthful for French people, World Wellness Weekend, whoa, whoa, whoa. It's about the victory of the mind. It's about the victory of the body. And when body and mind come together, those 2 victories become the W of wellness, World Wellness Weekend.
So Jean-Guy, I just realized that I may have screwed things up. We're talking about real time. So actually I lost activity on my monitor. So I was actually trying to get my monitors, and I'm concerned that we may have lost the recording in transition. I mean, this is real time Zoom. So what I want to do is I'm going to want to end the recording over here, and I'm going to send you just back up into the last 3 minutes that you said. I'm going to send you a new link because I want to make sure that we haven't lost the ending of this because of my screw. You know, so let me end the recording here, and we'll come back in just a moment and pick up this very important discussion. Oh, so here we're back. So, you know, you're getting the vibe from all of these channels that these are rough and raw, and at times, you know, it's a miracle that I know what I'm doing to pull off this technology. And there was such gold over here. Can you just back up and just, like, in case, you know, that I was screwing things up where we didn't pick up the last, you know, 2 or 3 minutes of that, you know, the last thing you were sharing, because it ended with you going like this.
Yes. I was in the flow, my friend. So I don't know if I'm going to repeat myself or say things differently, but the one thing that that I feel very powerful about what you're doing is that it is meaningful, not just to touch the life of one or two, but many, because you're reaching out to people who, and you're building this coalition of health, of healing. You're building this constellation of people that you have met, people you are meeting also and reconnecting with online. And in a time when COVID-19 has put the planet on hold for the whole year, decimating industries, putting millions of people out of job, taking the lives of so many dear ones that have gone, too early. Those two letters, because of the start of COVID-19, those two letters, if we try to make any sense of what's happening now, the fact that people have been locked down or restricted in their movements, that they're afraid to meet others for family gatherings, wear a mask at home, outside, and everything. So there's this bunkering that we are seeing, where people stay at home and limit their movements. And when actually we should have more meaningful conversations, meaningful collaborations, co-elaborations of the world we're moving in. Let's move on with 2020. Let's move in confidently with 2021, not just because there's a vaccine, not just because there's light at the end of the tunnel, but because we can be the light in the tunnel. We can be the light wherever we are, and we can share that light and inspire others. And it's not because we are going to, this song, "This Little Light of Mine, I'm gonna let it shine," and we should all do that. Amen. Hallelujah. This is the moment when we can all come together and we can share that light for others. So I'm so privileged to be part of this conversation. And the sign that you mentioned is just something that touched the lives and brought hope and enthusiasm to a lot of people. The World Wellness Weekend with those 3 W's is actually embodied in a simple message. I remember Churchill saying victory. And we take this sign of victory with 2 fingers, palm face up, victory. Victory of the mind, victory of the body. And when body and mind come together, we have 2 victories, we have wellness. And this is what we share with others, so victory from the heart outwards. And this...
Oh my God, yeah. So let me tell you, when I see you do this, isn't that a peace sign as well?
It is a peace sign.
Did you know that? So,
peace brother.
Peace brother, 2 peace signs coming together to bring world peace.
Yes. Inner peace and outer peace.
Inner peace and outer peace that creates world transformation. And that's what's needed in this world of healing. So
inner peace, outer peace, wellness for all.
Did you have, is that something we just co-emerged together?
Co-elaboration, co-creation.
So this is kind of the force field of miracles at play. The force field of miracles at play. I mean, this, you can't make the stuff up, and clearly it's from beyond us. So inner peace, outer peace comes together.
Wellness for all. And it's not just wellness for all, which is the 3rd sustainable development goal of the United Nations, with an objective to reach in 2030. It's not just wellness for all. I believe it has to be wellness by all, and wellness beyond frontiers, wellness without frontiers.
Wow.
We are part of this. And when you mention the Whole Health Institute, that's what they have, those circles. And it starts with the person. It starts pausing. It starts with noticing and choosing, and then creating something in the self-care and into the community. It all makes sense.
Okay, so now's the time that I want to offer you an invitation. And I hope you'll say yes. It would be an honor to invite you to join the Living Well from Within initiative that's going to be housed in the Global Wellness Institute. And the thought of us convening in Israel, going back to the Holy Land in November 2021, would you do us the honor of joining the initiative and showing up in Israel and being part of a facilitation, whether this is in the pre-summit or within the conference itself? We have to be determined to be a part of a coalition of extraordinary world leaders who can actually, you being one, who can actually imagine you meeting Tracy Gaudet and Alice Walton, sharing your vision and taking what they have and inspiring, enriching your content, and vice versa. Then what would happen when you have that, networking possibility in a facilitated environment, in the larger facilitated environment with world-class facilitators in the field of appreciative inquiry that can catalyze that work for us to create meaningful change in the world together for the service of everybody, all of you listening over here. We're doing this, we're coming together to shape the future, ultimately for you, for your lives. So what say you, Jean-Guy?
If I can answer in French, I will say oui, mon ami. If I answer in English, I'll say, of course, my friend. And if I answer with the little Hebrew that I know, I'll say sababa, mazel tov. Absolutely.
It is cemented. Okay, it is cemented. Well, Jean-Guy, that's a great place to, we're at a place where Dill will say, we're at a place where this movie has a Rotten Tomato scores of 100%. We can't go up from here. So let us leave on this climax. And I just want to share with you how blessed I am for our friendship, and how blessed I am for our loving friendship that not only kind of serves us, but in the way that we can serve the world together.
My friend, you're not just in my thoughts, you're not just in my prayer morning and evening, because I cannot not pray before opening my eyes in the morning, and I cannot not pray as I shut my eyes at night. It's the first thing and the last thing I do every day in a state of gratitude. And you are there in my thoughts and in my prayers with your family. But you're in my heart.
Well, just
forever.
knowing that, I will take that to heart as your loving care. I take that to heart as the best medicine on my healing journey. So thank you.
Your message of having a loving life is very powerful, my friend.
I love you.